Welcome to Let It Ride. This is episode 89. El Moreno and El Rubio coming to you from the Longhairs global headquarters. And this is a place for guys growing their hair. We publish hair tips and tactics, advocate for hair equality, and celebrate men's long manes with hair whips and high fives. Today's guest is a San Diego local. He is arguably the number one Padres fan, which means he is pumped right now. He's known for turning up with frequent and epic performances at Padres games, coaxing along a cadre of rabid Friar fanatics. He has more appearances on the Jumbotron than El Rubio, and he's about to get it lit for the National League Division Series with the hometown San Diego Padres and the best hair in baseball, taking on the neighbors to the north, the long-despised Los Angeles Dodgers, and a winner moves on slugfest in Southern California, standing at 6 foot 1 inch, 185 pounds, with brown curly lettuce, number 24, the Friar of the Flow, Ryan Cohen!
I'm so fired up right now. Oh, my God. That is the best introduction I've ever gotten in my life.
Juiced, baby.
Yeah. Bringing it, baby.
Can we play the game right now? I'm ready to go. Let's go.
First pitch. Let's get the warm-ups going. Come on. Ready to be dealing. We got game 2 tonight of the National League Division Series. It's going to be epic. Padres down 1-0. Ryan, what do you think heading into game 2?
Yeah, we're a comeback team. We've been coming back all year long in games. We lost game 1 of that first wild card series. Last night was ugly. The Dodgers beat us pretty handily. But I'm not out of faith. Davey's going to throw the ball well tonight like he's done all year. He's pitched well against the Dodgers all year. He's going to pitch well. The bats are going to step up. I'm feeling confident. Far from over. Far from over.
Yeah, totally agree. Definitely feel like we were missing the bats last night. It was unfortunate Tatis couldn't get it going, but I think that's going to change. I hope he puts that war paint on like he did in Game 3 against the Cardinals. What'd you like about last night, though? Was there anything you liked?
I mean, they had opportunities early. So anytime you have opportunities, I get excited. They got to cash in, obviously. That goes without saying. I thought overall, when you look at the bullpen picking up 8 innings, they did a pretty good job. Now you look at 5 runs, that doesn't sound so great. But really, other than 2-3 guys, bullpen did a pretty good job. And I think the key for the game for the Padres was Ryan Weathers, 20 years old, making your big league debut in the playoffs against the arch rival.
The lefty.
That was impressive. That was really, really impressive. So the game wasn't the way I wanted it to go, but out of everything, I'm taking away Ryan Weathers' debut, and gosh, that's got to feel good for him today.
Yeah.
Dude, stoke levels rising for the 20-year-old. 20?
20.
Yeah.
20-year-old.
Graduated the same year of high school, 2018.
His dad was a professional pitcher as well.
David Weathers. Yeah.
Indians?
He pitched on a lot of teams.
Yeah. I think
he was a Red for a while as well.
Okay.
So, Weathers, stoked. Let's just back up a little bit. How did you become such a big Padres fan?
Dude, when you have the answer to that question, you let me know, because I'm still trying to figure it out. My parents have grown to like baseball, especially as I've gotten really into it, but they weren't big Padres people by any means. And I was like a 6-year-old. I wanted to play Little League. Sure, go ahead, buddy. Loved it. I was bummed that I wasn't in machine pitch because I thought T-ball was too boring and slow. And once I got into Little League and all that stuff, I just had a blast. And then I'm a pretty big believer that if you understand baseball, you like baseball. And the reason people think baseball is boring is because they don't really get it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But once you understand that high fastball sets up that curveball, it gets infinitely more interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand how I got to that point where I cared enough to learn that stuff. But once I'm there, I think you're hooked. Like it's too perfect of a game to ever give it up.
Yeah.
It really is fun when you start like paying attention to the pitching sequence and what the pitcher is thinking and what the hitters and the battle, the strategic battle there going on between. It's really like a one-on-one battle, team sport, but with a really one-on-one matchup in the batter's box.
Well, it's a chess game with the most ridiculous athletes on the planet. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm moving my pawn here, but that pawn's moving at 100 miles an hour on the outside corner, or it's a dirty 79-mile-an-hour slider. Like, what are you going to do with this?
Right.
And then you got these hitters who somehow react in time and hit it 450 feet. So I think it's the perfect game. I love it with all my heart. And being a Padres fan certainly wasn't easy from 2007 to 2019, but here we are, and every single loss makes this whole season worth it. I mean, this has been a blast.
Yeah. It's just speaking of the intensity of the pitching, like every pitch in the playoffs really matters, and you're like hanging on every single pitch.
It's not good for my heart rate. It's not good for my mental health. every pitch. I mean, even in that Cardinals series, right? We lose the first game. We're down in the second game by 4 and then down again by 4. Should be done. Like, the season should be over. We're supposed to lose. Everything says we're supposed to lose. Tatis hits through a homer. Manny hits the homer. Will hits the homer. And, like, you can't stop watching.
Yeah.
You can't stop watching. And every single pitch that led to the 2 guys on for Tatis matters. And in I was saying this to you guys earlier, but in a regular season game, they're down 7-1. It's July 28th. They're 14 games out of the playoff, out of first place. It's like, I'm going to go enjoy that hamburger and chill out on the beach or whatever. But now I don't care if they're down 15-0. I'm not missing a pitch. It matters too much.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. A true baseball fan. We got to get you introduced to Nick Claghorn, MLB beat correspondent for the Longhairs, biggest baseball fan I knew until now. So you go to a lot of games. You've appeared on the Jumbotron, on social media, all over the place. You get these outrageous dance moves going. You get the whole crowd fired up. There's something about getting fired up at a baseball game, right? You bring the heat. Tell us about just your experience and what you bring to the ball games at the Yard.
Yeah, I mean, so I think a lot of people know me because I dance on the Jumbotron and stuff like that. But the honest truth is that when I'm at work, if I'm in the car, if I'm at school, if I hear music, I'm going to be dancing along. Like, that's how I roll. That's what I enjoy doing. That's my way of staying loose. So when I'm at a ballpark with 40,000 people and there's music on, I'm going to be dancing along. That's just like my way of having fun. There happens to be a screen that shows me in front of the 40,000 people, and then it's like, oh, look, he's just doing this for attention, which is part of it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But I also just like having the fun. And to be perfectly honest, the Padres weren't good. There were so many games where they're losing 10-2, and it's boring. It's not fun to watch your favorite team lose 10-2.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the inning, you might as well dance and have some fun. And now they're good. And it's like, man, now we're firing everybody up with the dancing. Everyone's all on board. It's fun. Like, I'm just trying to have fun. That's my whole thing. And people come up and they go, oh, dude, you suck. You don't know what you're doing. Bro, I'm a terrible dancer. I'm looking right in the camera here. I'm a terrible dancer. I'm awful. I know that. That's not the point. I'm just trying to have fun. Trying to keep it loose.
Yeah. Dude, those moves, though, those are impressive. I mean, the joint stability, the strength in some of those movements.
Well, it's purely from what I hear. I have never taken a lesson. It's just if I hear the music, I'm going along. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
dude, the flexibility mixed with the enthusiasm. Totally. I mean, it's just
ligament strength.
Yeah, what a blend. What a mix. So not just at the games, you're super active on Twitter, on the social media, Padres social media world. You're very well known for tweeting after almost, if not every single game. Life is better when the Padres win. What is the landscape like for the Padres in the social media world, and how did you get so deep into it?
That's such a good question. I started tweeting when I was in 8th grade. That was 2013. I started tweeting "Life is better when the Padres win" after every win in 2015. I just it wasn't like I had planned it. It's just like I said it after one win. And I was like, oh, they won again the next day, and I just kind of kept going. And then I think the dancing kind of goes in with Twitter where they bounce off each other. So someone sees me at a game, I post the video, they go, oh my God, I saw you last night. And then they follow me or whatever, and then they go, oh wait, this kid isn't just dancing, he actually really likes the Padres. He's tweeting about the Padres every day. And then, they start commenting, and then the more people that comment, the more people that see you. And I'm a huge believer in terms of Twitter where it is easier to get 500 likes than 100 likes. Once you have the first 100, it's going to keep going. It spirals. People see likes, they like it, they retweet, they comment, whatever. But it's just about kind of getting your foot in the door, and I think that's what the dancing did for me, where people saw me and go, oh my God, I don't even know who this Ryan Cohen kid is, but I saw him last night and he made me laugh, and I was with 3 friends and they all laughed, and then boom, 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 there's 4 follows right there.
Yeah. Dude, well, having such an impact, in the stadium, I mean, it's got to be tough to not be able to go to a game this season. How has this season, as great as it's been for the Padres, it's just freaking phenomenal. Is it also a little disheartening not being able to be there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I don't think about it every single day. I mean, of course, I would love to be there. But the way I'm trying to look at it, and I'm not perfect at this, but I'm trying to look at it as if next year, 2021, because we're going to be good for a while. This isn't our first year of being good in the last one. It's the first of a long period here. So next year, hopefully, this whole COVID thing ends and we're in the ballpark again and it's safe and everything like that. that'll kind of be we get to relive it for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, like we get to have the whole pennant run. We get to have the wild card game, or hopefully we take down the Dodgers and have the NLDS. You know, like hopefully we get to do all that at Petco. So next year, after we win the World Series this year, we get to celebrate on opening day the World Series that we won this year, and then we get to do it again for the first time where we get to hug everybody and high five the dude next to me who I've never met before, and cuss out the Dodgers fan 3 rows down. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, man.
Dude, yes. It's going to be really fun. I know we've talked about this often, just Petco Park, awesome facility, super dope yard.
Best place on earth.
And after the first week of the season, it's just never really full. Don't know that you ever really see it full, unfortunately, unless it's full of fans from a different team. A playoff run, seeing that place completely packed and rocking in the playoffs would just be
nuts.
An awesome experience. And we're really missing out on this year, but you got to believe next year it's going to be cracking.
There's this narrative that the Padres don't have fans. It's just complete crap. I mean, it's just not true.
Yeah.
We haven't been good in 14 years. Like, it's not that we've like been competitive and missed the playoffs. They've been really, really bad since 2010. They had the one good year, and before that was 2007. Like, really bad. So, yeah, the fans don't come out in the middle of August for a team that's 17 games out of first.
Right.
The streets just flooded in the middle of a global pandemic because they won the wild card game, you know, or wild card series.
Yeah.
This city cares about this team. There's no doubt in my mind. So when we're fully allowed to go back to the life as we knew before, it's going to be packed. It's going to be packed all year long. And the playoffs, the place might fall down.
I know.
Could you imagine that place when Tatis and Manny went back-to-back in the wild card series?
Oh, my gosh.
It would have been rocking.
Nuts.
It would have been awesome.
Totally.
But again, we get to relive that all for the first time next year.
Yeah. After the World Series.
After we win it this year, right?
And not just is everyone going to be there, but you're going to be able to identify Padres fans from other fans wearing blue and other similar colors because it's the brown.
Yeah.
And immediately recognizable, totally visually different. As you know, this is the first year the Padres are officially back in brown. What is your whole take on Bring Back the Brown? Did you follow that campaign? Are you pumped on the new colors? Where are you at?
Love the brown. I love the brown for so many reasons. Number one, I love the yellow. I think the yellow is an underrated aspect of this jersey. We're in San Diego, man. Sunshine. This is what we need. We're a yellow. This is a yellow place. That's number one. I think more importantly, when I'm at an airport and there's a game on the TV bar, you know, a couple feet away, oh, is that the Tampa Bay Rays or the Brewers or the Dodgers or the Royal? What other blue and white team is that? Who's the brown and yellow team? That's the San Diego Padres, and it's an identity. Oh, they look like UPS drivers. Oh, it's the colors of pee and poop. I don't care. It's an identity. It looks so badass.
It does.
Huge fan. And we're winning in them, just like we did in the 80s. Like, here we are.
Exactly. It's like, why did it take this long to bring them back?
But I'm also really happy that their first season in the brown, they're good.
Oh, yeah.
Because if the first season was 2018 and it was like, you know, I don't want to throw anyone's name under the bus, but some bums, you know, playing in the brown, just be like, you know, even the Friday night uniforms that were brown, you saw some pretty bad teams in those Friday night uniforms.
True.
Now they're in these white and brown pinstripes. They look so good. They're playing so good, look good, feel good. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I've said it before, 14 years, no brown, no hair ties, no playoffs. This year, brown, got the hair ties on the players all season long. Pods are in the playoffs.
It's just facts.
I just got to go with
it's
the data
just
on
the
that
data,
one.
yeah.
Tatis wore a hair tie every single game this season.
Yep.
At least one. Sometimes he had two, three.
Sometimes 2 or 3 on his wrist.
Pretty nuts. Not, you know, not saying it's, you know, giving him extra powers or anything, but why hasn't he taken them off?
I don't know.
Why hasn't he taken them
Also,
off?
I'd like to say this about Tatis. Last year was hurt for most of the season. This year, wearing hair ties on the field the whole season. Just the facts.
Not drawing any conclusions here, just stating the facts. And while we're at it, let's just give a shout out to the best hair in baseball, our boy Matt Strom.
Yeah.
We got the sheriff, Chris Paddock. Of course, the superstar Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Oft overlooked Denelson Lamet, making a run for the NL Cy Young Award potentially with a just over 2.0 ERA. And, of course, brought over from the Indians, Mike Clevenger, rounding out the finest hair in all of baseball. Again, coincidence they're in the playoffs. You be the judge.
Yeah.
And we're in San Diego. Yeah. That's the look. That's what we're going for.
Totally.
Let's do it.
the flow.
I think seeing Strom out there last night, I mean, his hair looks a lot longer than it was. He had some killer flow going. Unfortunately, it's just a tough inning for Strom and the Padres, that whole inning. That air just sucked at first base. But you know what was funny about last night was how the announcers kept talking about the hair. Did you notice that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to miss. Like, it's very long, and it's yeah. I thought that was funny too. I was
Comparing May and Clevenger, and they threw Strom in there. It's just like it's just hair talk.
They don't even know it. Unwittingly.
Yeah.
Just long hair. It's in the game. It's part of the game now.
Just like bat flips.
So we'll come back to just like bat flips.
Part of the game.
It used to be
Stop
looked down
whining.
upon. Now it's just kind of part of the culture, and it's pretty exciting. I think a lot of people are pumped on it. Some people are still pissed about it, but it's definitely exciting. Brings a little bit more explosiveness and celebration to the game. They can be a slow game, you know.
Wait, I'm a little unfamiliar with that exact. What, you couldn't flip the bat before?
So there's this thing about old men that they like to keep things the way they had it when they were playing.
Okay.
So dudes in their 50s, 60s, and 70s like to tell the 21-year-old superstar Fernando Tatis and Acuna, who's 22, "Oh, stop flipping your bat. You're disrespecting the game, blah, 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 blah." Here's how I know it's effective. 30 seconds after he flips the bat, it's all over my Twitter. It's all over my Instagram. People are texting me about it. It got attention, and it was fun. And he's showing that he's having fun playing the game. Stop whining about dudes having fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Totally. Which, going back to earlier in the season when Tatis was apologizing for hitting that grand slam and the
unwritten rules are such crap.
That was that was a joke. That was such a joke.
And that 3-0 grand slam was, I mean, it's so easy to say this now in retrospect, but that was the first grand slam of the whole Slam Diego thing. That was they had just lost 5 straight games. They went on a 7-game winning streak after that.
Yeah.
They ended up winning something like 24 out of 28 games or something after that grand slam. I forget exactly what it was, but it's some crazy number like that. So say all you want about unwritten rules and respecting the game. Tatis took his team to the playoffs single-handedly, basically. I mean, Machado was great too. There were a lot of guys that were great, but Tatis sparked it that day with that slam.
Totally. Yeah, I think Machado really stepped it up after Tatis is just on fire. He's like, "Hey, you know what? I'm not letting the young gun outgun me."
Absolutely. I mean, that's like his little brother right there. You can't get beat by your little brother.
Yeah, exactly. That's been exciting to watch.
So we'll come back around to the Padres inside 3 hours till the first pitch. But you and I met at a Padres game at Petco Park in 2017. You had much longer hair.
Yeah, so I used to have, my hair's pretty curly. It used to be really, really long. And my whole thing on the Jumbotron used to just kind of be like flipping my hair and kind of going boom, 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 going nuts with it. And then after the game, I still remember where we were. I was right up top by kind of where the retired numbers are down there at the home plate entrance, right up top of the stairs by the fountain. Some dude, didn't know who he was, hands me a card, goes, "Man, you got great hair. Check out this website." I was like, "Yeah, man, all right, sounds good." I didn't know who you were. And I checked it out. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And then, I think it was towards the end of the season because I remember getting my hair cut pretty early on in my senior year of high school, which was 2018. So it might have been 2018. I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, it was 2017. It was 2017 because the beginning of my senior year of high school was 2017.
Okay.
So it was the end of the 2017 season. I cut my hair, and I never really checked it out. And then we reconnected later, and now I got the wristbands on my arm.
Okay, so funny in and of itself. But at that time, in 2017, you were still in high school.
Yeah.
And you were not yet a Sigma Nu.
No, hadn't even heard of Sigma Nu, to be perfectly honest with you.
So I had approached you as part of the long-haired brethren, the global fraternity of men with long hair. You were not yet even introduced to the general college fraternities. After that, you went to UC Davis, and you are now, in fact, a Sigma Nu at UC Davis, which is another really crazy coincidence. The fact that we had met previously, and it was not even on the radar at that point.
This was supposed to be right here. I think that's all you can make out of that. Yeah. And the other thing is I was very, very reluctant about fraternities in general. I'm not the stereotypical frat guy. I don't want to put anyone in any bubble, but I didn't rush my freshman year. I had no intentions of rushing. I just had so many friends in Sigma Nu and so many good people, not just buddies, but really good people. And the president of Sigma Nu at UC Davis is one of my best friends. And they were like, "Dude, just come out. Give it a shot. Don't think about the stereotypes." So I was so not supposed to be in Sigma Nu in the first place. So the fact that I was and like am now and got to meet you, it's all pretty crazy, the fact that it even happened.
It is crazy. All of the men in this room, in fact, are Sigma Nus.
Snakes,
where
baby, let's go.
El Moreno and I met in the snake pit, Zeta Kappa, Fresno State. Going back to UC Davis, though, without diving too much into it, there's a really special connection there with myself personally. We recolonized the chapter at UC Davis in 2008. It had been closed for nearly 17 years. At the time, I was working as an employee for Sigma Nu National Fraternity, and it's really just an example of the power of vision. We stepped foot on campus in 2008, and I was introduced to a man who became one of my closest mentors in my life to this day, Mike Wheeler, an alumnus of the Zeta Xi chapter at UC Davis. And when we set out to restart the chapter, we created a vision. And it started with becoming the best fraternity at UC Davis, and then being one of the best chapters in Sigma Nu, one of the rock chapters, as we call it, and then being one of the best fraternity chapters in the entire country, and building a leadership institute that is recruiting and developing men to the benefit of country and kin. And now, just 12 years later, in fact, Mike Wheeler called me out of the blue yesterday. First, the Sigma Nu chapter at Davis became the top fraternity at UC Davis. Since then, has won 4 rock chapters, which is the best chapters in Sigma Nu across the country. And then just this year, the NIC Award of Distinction, which awards 6 of the very best fraternities across the entire country among all the different fraternities. And Sigma Nu being the only one in the West. All the others are in like the South or in the East, a little bit more traditional fraternity cultures. So a lot could be said about fraternity. It's not surprising to me that you were a guy who wasn't going to probably join a fraternity going to college, but you became attracted to Sigma Nu. But Sigma Nu at UC Davis is a shining example of the best of what fraternity can be, and it really is a lesson in the power of vision. And establishing that vision early on and seeing what has happened now 12 years later and meeting a guy like you who's part of that chapter, it's just incredible to see it all come full circle. And I was just pumped when we reconnected earlier this year when I was doing a leadership session for the Davis chapter.
Yeah, I think one of the things that makes us special is the idea that we're trying to buck the norm of that, that it's just a social kind of get drunk with your friends, and we certainly have fun. I don't want to make it sound like we're a bunch of no fun losers. I don't want to say that, but it's really good people. It's really good people, and that's when because I was really on the fence about rushing. I really, really was, and when I kept going back to it, I was like, I like these people. I like every single one of them, and honestly, when I'm in a room with 10, 15 dudes, I get a little bit broed out. I'm like, I don't want to be here, dude. I'd rather be in a co-ed situation. That's just what I like. I like it both ways. And these were really good people all the way across the board. And it's like, all right, if Cole Creedon can be in this chapter, if Jake Bentham can be in this chapter, if Connor Heinzman can be in this chapter, just to name a few of those guys, and I really love all of them, why am I too good to be a part of it? Why am I too special to be a part of this if they want me? And they did, and I'm honored by it, to be perfectly honest. And I it's something I really enjoy. And I think we're just trying to keep it to where every brother we accept is a really good person before anything else, before grades, before social status, whatever. A really, really good dude, and make sure they can have a little bit of fun as well.
Yeah. Dude, that's phenomenal.
Well, love, honor, truth, man. Cardinal values, that's what we're looking for in members of Sigma Nu. And it just has been deeply ingrained in the Longhairs history, with El Moreno and I having met through Sigma Nu, and a lot of our paths having been more or less, in some cases, shaped by the Sigma Nu experience. And bringing you here to the table now and knowing that you're a part of that chapter is freaking badass, man. And just shout out to Mike Wheeler and to all the guys at the Zeta Xi chapter. Badass.
So how long? You didn't rush right away, so when did you?
Winter of this year, so
really?
literally beginning of 2020.
Okay.
Oh
wow.
Yeah, very recent,
dude.
Very recent. I was not into it. I really wasn't. And like I said, it was just a lot of good people, and I kind of felt like I was throwing away an opportunity if I said no to it.
Yeah, man. I think there's so much to learn from the fraternity. I think when I look back at my experience there, just I always knew I wanted to have my own business, but I think just being part of fraternity, and particularly Sigma Nu, it really like pushed that more, being able to like be young and with a group of guys and have a leadership role and, you know, really kind of run an organization. And there's, you know, so much that applies later in life. And like you hear it when you're in college and you're kind of like, yeah, cool, whatever. But like, you know, when you're actually our age, it's like you look back and you're like, you know what, I did actually learn a lot from that experience, you know?
Well, hands-on, right? I mean, I think
totally.
That's the coolest part, is that it's like no one else is going to do it for you. Like somebody's going to have to do this work, and like, here you go, guys.
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for some of my best friends on the planet that work so hard to keep it such a great chapter, for sure.
So, hey, let's talk hair. You were previously deep past the areola. You since trimmed it back after receiving your Longhairs referral card, just biding your time until you're going to really start letting it ride again. But when did you start growing out the first time? What's kind of your long hair story?
So I went 2 years without a haircut. No trim, nothing. Just went straight for it. It got to the point where it was long, but not long enough to donate. And I really wanted to be able to donate because it was so long, you know?
Yeah.
And so I went for 2 straight years to the date and cut it. And that was right before formal in high school. So that was an interesting cut. And then I've just been I've been keeping it at this length pretty much ever since. I've had a couple short ones, but not quite at the length of you two, you know, really good hair, but long enough to where it's not, I don't look like every other, you know, snobby, boring, short-haired guy.
But you have been in full flow. As we say, long hair lives in the heart. Once you're in, you're always in.
Love it.
Very much like Sigma Nu. And it still looks great, man. You still got a curl. It's representative of the Friar, and it just is. It goes along with the whole Padres.
I think it's kind of a baseball look. It kind of tucks behind well because it's flat up here, you know, and then it curls right out of the hat. So I'm not saying I'm as good looking as some of those Padres, but I think this part of my, you know, appearance could fit in.
Baseball flow is a real thing.
It's 100% a real thing.
I got it going pretty heavy right now.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's excellent baseball length right there.
Yeah.
When it was long, we all often talk about what are some of the long hair problems, whether getting your eye or getting caught in the drain or stuff that maybe you didn't experience prior. What are still some of the long hair problems you have or do currently experience?
The one I remember most specifically, I'd be going to the beach and in the waves, and it would get stuck in my mouth, and I'd come up like gasping for air, and it would just be my hair, and I hated that. And I was like, man, it's getting a little long, because I wasn't wearing hair ties. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
I had to have the hair tie in. That's one for sure. And then, yeah, getting out of the shower, it'd just be all in my eyes. I mean, that's the biggest one for sure. It's like if you don't have a hat on, if you don't have a hair tie, if you don't have something, like it's gonna be in your face, and there's not a whole lot you can do. I played soccer through high school also, and I would wear one of the socks, you know, the long athletic socks. I'd tie it around my head. That was my hairband.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my headband.
Innovative.
So, we had some looks for sure.
They're coming up in the ocean in that split second where you literally cannot take in any air because
you're about to swallow your whole head of hair.
You really have this instant of panic, like you're suffocating. Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah, I felt that too.
And it did, yeah. That noise, 100%. It's like, oh boy, say salty.
So, talked about long hair problems, got into your hair story a little bit. You may or may not know about a charity event that we did last year in 2019. It was called The Great Cut. It was a charity hair cutting event where we broke the Guinness World Records title for the most hair donated to charity in 24 hours ever.
That's awesome.
Champs, baby.
That's
world champs.
Reigning world champs.
Reigning world champs.
Just like the Padres next year.
We intend to give it another shot, and we're planning the Great Cut 2024. 4 years from now, we will attempt another world record at a charity hair cutting event that will almost certainly be held here in San Diego, COVID notwithstanding. But we'd like to. This is the big recruitment push. Right?
I'm in.
We want to get you in for the Great Cut 2024. What do you say?
I'm in. Absolutely. I'm all about that kind of stuff. Charities right in my. That's the other thing. So this is a little bit of a tangent, but the reason I knew so many guys in Sigma Nu at Davis was I'm a part of Camp Kesem at UC Davis. Mm-hmm. It's another charity type thing.
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff is very near and dear to my heart. So anything, that's why I had it so long in the first place, to be able to donate it. So absolutely, you got
awesome.
Pencil me in 100%.
Pen
me in.
How the brothers looking up north? You got any guys in the house?
Yeah, dude, we got some long ones. Because quarantine kind of, you get to see some styles. A lot of beards, too. Like a lot of, I got the mustache going right now. That didn't exist before this whole COVID thing. Yeah, definitely some longer hair coming in. I think the beards is where I'm really seeing more of it.
Okay. Nice. We could make a push, a recruitment push up there. We need to tie Sigma Nu in a little closer this next round. We knew it was there last time, but we really didn't have enough time to kind of give it the full
you gotta
energy
start somewhere,
that it would have worked. Like to really try to get a lot of the different chapters across the country involved. But I think we have plenty of time now.
We have more opportunity, a little bit more time to do it. I think it's a little more acceptable on campuses. I think more guys are going to have long hair for sure in college 4 years from now.
Yeah.
And just more time to put together a strategy for reaching out to the global brethren, if you will. But definitely going to get the bros more involved in 2024. We had a few little hits, and we had some brothers come. We had a lot of alumni brothers come and cut their hair.
We did.
But it definitely wasn't like a whole cohesive Sigma Nu strategy, which we would love to do next time around.
Dude, we had some guys come from Zeta Kappa, our chapter, that we didn't even know they had long hair, and they showed up to the event.
That's
We're like,
awesome.
what?
It was down here?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was at
That's
the Port
so cool.
Pavilion, which is... So if you're at the ballpark, it's the pier that's right by
the Midway.
Right by the Midway.
Yeah,
right across from
I know
Midway.
exactly where that is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's where the cruise ships come in.
Right. Yeah.
And then the
whole
the
bay
Star
there.
of India is the next one.
I was going to say
Right
Star of
in
India. I
between
went
Star
to a
of
field
India.
trip there in like 5th grade or something like that. Yeah.
Dude, popping. We had like 1,300 people there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It was
When you said 12-13, I thought you meant 12-13, and then
No,
you threw 100 in there. I was really impressed.
people.
That is awesome.
Dude,
How'd you get the word out with that?
2,834 people actually donated their hair
And what was the cause?
cumulatively.
Our charity partner is Children with Hair Loss.
Awesome.
And they provide wigs or hair prosthetics to children with medically related hair loss. They provide it completely free of charge to the families, one every year until the kid turns 21 years old.
Yeah.
They've never denied a child. They're celebrating their 20th year in business. They're just a fine organization.
Awesome.
We have a great relationship with them, and they're going to be juiced for 2024. We get to meet a lot of the kids who get the hair prosthetics, came last year. They will, I'm sure, again next year. And it was a really special event.
Yeah.
That's got to be so rewarding. I mean, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I'd imagine that out of everything you do here, that's got to be the best of it all, right? I mean, it sounds awesome.
It's pretty great, man. I mean, we're just blessed to be able to do what we do and run this business that we're doing. And, yeah, it's definitely a powerful, motivating part of it. There's no doubt.
Shout out to Silviano Gonzalez, who came and
Yeah.
cut his hair.
Yeah.
Darren Tolley was there.
Yeah.
A lot of other Sigma Nus, the bros, friends who maybe didn't have long hair, but they still showed up. Diego and Welshins and all the boys.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good Sigma Nu contingent
I
there.
forgot Welshins was there.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And Hatcher Meeks. There was a bunch. Sorry, we're missing some names for sure. Try to give
Yeah.
everyone a shot. But, hey, next time, Zeta Xi will be in full effect.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So what else we got, man? If guys want to connect with you, either on the Padres tip or on the long hair tip, it seems like you're most active on Twitter. What is your Twitter, and then what other channels could guys connect with you if they want to link up?
Yeah, so Twitter's definitely like my most active. That's like my baseball focused one. It's Ryan Cohen 24, just my name and my favorite number. Instagram, I'm also pretty active. That's more of like my actual kind of day-to-day life. That's Ryan Cohen, just my name.
Cohen.
Cohen, yeah. And then lately, I try and keep the Padres on Twitter and like my friends on Instagram, but it's kind of been bleeding because I'm really, really hyped on the Padres right now. So, to anyone that's listening that's my friend that doesn't care about the Padres, I'm sorry. It'll die down after the season, I promise. But I'm a little excited,
not
man.
if we win the World Series.
Yeah.
It's
Honestly,
going
it
all
might
the
be
way
every
to
single
next
day.
Oh, yeah. It'll be lit. Are you, in fact, 6'1", 185? That was just a guess before
Really close. I'm 6'2", 180.
Oh,
So he gave me a couple extra lbs and he shorted me an inch. But I was like, where'd you get that number? Because you were close.
When I saw you in the parking lot, I was like, oh, maybe he's 6'2". Shit. That was just from seeing a couple of videos, and originally I was hoping to give you an extra inch, but then I saw you. I was like, I might have cut him a little bit short there.
Yeah.
But here we are, 6'1". 6'2", 180.
There it is.
Number 24. He is the Friar of the Flow. Ryan Cohen. Dude, thanks for joining. Before we let her rip here and get our pregame activities really ramped up,
Yeah, prediction for tonight.
what do you got for tonight? How do you see it playing out? How many innings is Davies last, and what's the final score?
That Davies question is huge. I think that's going to determine it.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I keep saying we. I basically just
You're
think of
in
it's a family, you know, like
Come on.
we
got this.
having gone more than like 2 1/3 innings, I don't think, if that. I think Paddock went 2 1/3 in the first game. We need 5. We need 6. We need 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
But if Davies can give 4 shutout innings, I think we're in a really good spot. I think we need a little bit longer. Look, man, Kershaw chokes every year. He had a great first game against a terrible Brewers lineup. He's going to choke at some point this year. That's just what data says. Every single year he does it. I hope it's the Padres that get to do it to him, and I think it can be. If we can get 3-4 runs off of Kershaw in 6 innings, I think we're in a really good spot. So I think my final prediction is we get Kershaw 4 runs, 5 innings. Davies goes 5 shutty. We win 4-1.
Love
4-1.
Love it.
4-1. You heard it.
And Tatis.
And Tatis hits a homer.
Yeah, Tatis hits over.
Because
Come
look
on.
good, play good. He's got the hairbands. He knows what he's doing.
All right, El
man.
Moreno, it's on you. Prediction.
Oh, prediction? I how can I top that? I mean, I'm
Well,
with
we
that.
all got our own predictions. I got mine. Brewing mine
I
up.
love that one. I
I'm
love
stalling
that.
for time.
I mean, and look, you know, we get a dub tonight. I mean, we still got a long road here, you know. And
That's the thing is, as much as last night sucked and last night was so painful, win tonight and it's a 3-game series and we
Yeah.
already won one of those, you know.
Exactly.
So like, let's go. Tonight's huge.
Wait, okay. Clarification. I thought this is a 5-game series.
It is.
Okay,
but what I'm
okay.
saying is, if we win
Okay.
tonight, then it's 1-1,
Right,
and then
right,
it becomes a 3-game series. Right.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. Well, what you got?
I'll go. I say the Dodgers get a couple of runs off of Davies, 1 or 2, but I bet he goes 6 strong. And the magic with the Padres bats, when one hit, it just is contagious.
Yeah.
And they start lighting it up. They hit a few home runs, big time long ball team. I see the lineup catching some heat, especially if they could get Kershaw knocked out of the game. I got 8-3 Padres.
Wow, I like that.
Love it.
All right, so
I love
8-3,
it.
8 runs. You know what 8 runs is? That's 2 grand slams. Do we hit a grand slam tonight?
Yeah,
That's a tough prediction.
Slam
claim,
Diego.
you know.
I'm
They
going
left-
grand slam tonight.
They
I'll
left the
call
bases
that.
juiced last night, and
Okay.
there was I thought Grisham was gonna just take it.
There was
pick
a
up
couple
Profar.
opportunities there.
There were.
Yeah.
I'm going 8-3 Padres.
Okay, I'll take it.
4-1 from Cohen.
I like it. Yeah, man. The thing is just the pitching for me. That's just like we need to hold it down, and not having 48 pitchers in the game.
No
Tonight.
kidding.
Barely an
Gotta give the
exaggeration.
bullpen a rest.
Yeah. The bullpen needs a rest. So I think I'm gonna go final. I like the 4-1. I'm with you on that.
4-1.
Sticking
Yeah.
4-1. We got 2 guys going 4-1.
I
Is
like
that
it.
going to will the Padres to victory? We'll have to wait to find out at 6:08 Pacific time
Not far out, boys.
when the best hair in baseball takes on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yes.
In
Loss.
Texas, strangely.
LOSS.
Not here in San Diego or in Los Angeles.
Unfortunately,
But even so,
and no
we'll be on
fans.
TV.
Yep.
Hey, it was a kick-ass show. Ryan, pumped to have you
Yeah,
here.
dude.
Just the crazy connections, meeting years ago, the Sigma Nu connection, the long hair. There's just a lot of brotherhood here in
Yeah.
the room.
Totally.
Pumped to meet someone who's so stoked on their team and on baseball in general, and having a blast at the park, man. Just having a great time, getting people fired up. I mean, that's where a lot of juice comes from. So
It's what it's all
appreciate it.
about, man.
It is.
You're a perfect example of it.
I appreciate that. This was such a blast for me. I love nothing more than talking Padres. So thanks for having me on too.
Dude, you bet. All right. Well, that's it for this one.
Till next time, boys. Keep letting it ride.
Yep. See ya.